Do you want to start wholesaling real estate in Louisiana, but just don't know how? Well, look no further, because in this video, I'm going to cover the 7 steps to wholesaling real estate in Louisiana. Hey, my name's Alex Martinez with Real Estate Skills, and we've helped thousands of people to get started wholesaling and investing in real estate across the country. Now let's dive into this video. So first off, what is wholesale real estate? Wholesale real estate is a strategy where you get a property under contract at one specific price, let's say $100,000, and initially you are the buyer on the deal. You then put the property under contract at that $100,000 price, but then you find a cash buyer, typically a fix and flipper, that wants to buy the contract rights at a higher price. So let's say they want to buy the property at $110,000. Now, all you need to do is put the property under contract at one price and sell the contract to your cash buyer at a higher price. So if the cash buyer wants to purchase the property at $110,000, then you make the $10,000 difference as a profit. It's very simple. And this strategy alone has allowed our company and our students to generate millions from real estate. For example, one of our students, Kiara, joined our real estate investing program, and she was able to put a property under contract in New Orleans for $115,000. Using the exact techniques we teach and that I'm sharing today, she was able to assign that contract to a cash buyer at $130,000 and walk away with $15,000 of profit. Now, the best part is, Kiara didn't have to buy the property. And she was able to do this without spending $1 on any type of marketing in order to get this deal under contract. She simply leveraged our tools, scripts, training, and coaching to create an amazing win for her and her family. Additionally, Kiara was able to do this with 0 prior experience in real estate. And now she's a pro wholesaling real estate in Louisiana. Now let's get into how to wholesale real estate step by step in Louisiana. Step 1 is picking your real estate market. When a lot of people get introduced to wholesaling real estate, they sometimes have the misconception that it's as simple to wholesale real estate where they live compared to another state across the country. Now, after wholesaling for over a decade, we've seen that it's much easier to wholesale where you're physically located rather than another state that you have absolutely no familiarity with. And I suggest picking the real estate market you live in for a couple of reasons. Number 1, you know more than you think you know about your real estate market. For example, let's say you're in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and you've lived there for 10 years. Well, you most likely have an understanding of what the different neighborhoods are, which areas have more crime than others, which areas are appreciating in value and have growth potential, and which areas are maybe considered more luxurious or desirable. So now, whether you know it or not, you're actually on top of local market trends. And with any real estate strategy, local knowledge is important. So use this to your advantage so you can start to find good areas and great deals. Now, another reason I suggest starting in your local market is this. Number 2, from starting to wholesale real estate locally, you'll be able to easily visit the properties, easily meet with real estate agents, and build mutually beneficial relationships with key players in the real estate industry. So being local is very important so that you can meet these key players, build relationships, and build rapport. Now, step 2 to wholesaling real estate in Louisiana is finding 3 to 5 quality local cash buyers you can wholesale deals to. Typically, these cash buyers are going to be fix and flippers, and you want to find cash buyers who are communicative, meaning they respond to you when you have deals on the line and that are purchasing multiple houses per month. Now, in order to find quality local cash buyers in Louisiana, I recommend using what we've coined here at Real Estate Skills as the Google Ninja trick. Here's how it works. Let's say you're based in Baton Rouge and want to find cash buyers in that area. Go to Google and type in "Sell My House Fast, Baton Rouge." Now, in the search results, you'll see websites for real estate investors who've optimized their content and their websites for these keywords. And you'll see that these fix and flip companies appear in the organic search results. Well, guess what? These are likely active cash buyers who are interested in connecting with wholesalers. And these types of cash buyers are consistently looking for opportunities to buy properties at a discount, which means they should be interested in buying your wholesale deals. Now, if you want a more in-depth walkthrough on the Google Ninja trick for finding cash buyers, definitely check it out on our YouTube channel, and I'll put a link to the video in the description down below. And in order to find that free resource on how to find cash buyers using the Google Ninja trick, just go to realestateskills.com/Google and you'll be able to get it for free. Now, step number 3 is finding and filtering for deals on the MLS. The MLS stands for the Multiple Listing Service, and it's the database of all houses for sale on the market in your area. Now, over the last decade, the MLS has been our #1 deal acquisition source, and it's an amazing way to find great wholesale deals in Louisiana. Now, here are 2 strategies to help you find wholesale opportunities using the MLS. First up is our Day Zero strategy. This strategy is when you check for new house listings that have been uploaded to the MLS within the last 24 hours. For example, if there are 50 new listings in your area in the last 24 hours, well, from there, you can now only focus on the properties that look like they're actually distressed. And by distressed, I mean the properties that are outdated, have the old carpet with stains on them, maybe there's holes in the walls and overgrown shrubbery. Now, out of those 50 new listings that come up on the MLS, there may only be 5 to 10 properties that are actually distressed. Well, guess what? These are the ones we want to focus all our attention on. And so why does this strategy work so well? Because when properties are distressed and are newly listed, the sellers are often eager to move and accept offers quickly. And we also focus on distressed properties because many of these properties require an all-cash offer in order to be closed. And this is because if a traditional home buyer comes along and wants to buy the property, most banks aren't going to lend on a property like this. Most banks won't give out a mortgage on this property because it's in too bad of a condition. So this makes distressed properties a ripe opportunity for wholesalers to get under contract. Now, being first to act and call on these listings will greatly increase your chances of getting the property under contract before any other investors step in. So if you're first to make a call to the agent on the property and present an offer that works for the seller, then you can be in the perfect position to get the property under contract. And throughout the years, this has hands down been our #1 strategy for getting deals under contract and for wholesaling these deals. Now, a second approach to the MLS is what I call the old listings approach. Old listings are properties that have been sitting on the market for more than 60 or 90 days. Now, when properties sit on the market for higher than the average days on market, this makes many sellers more open to negotiating on the price point of a home, which makes this a great strategy for us wholesalers because we're always trying to get the best price possible. So for instance, you might find a distressed property on the MLS in New Orleans that's been listed for $300,000, but hasn't sold yet in 4 months. Well, now the seller may become even more motivated to sell and may be open to taking an offer significantly less than their list price. And we see this all the time. This happens all the time. So now instead of offering the seller $300,000, you could offer the seller potentially $240,000, and they just might be willing to take that offer because they haven't got any other offers close to their original asking price. That's why that house is still in the market. And as the more time goes on, the more motivated that seller can be. So that's the old listings approach. Now, step #4 for wholesaling real estate in Louisiana is calling real estate agents. Once you've found distressed properties on the MLS, the next step is reaching out to and calling the real estate agents representing these properties. Luckily, one of the perks of using the MLS is that it typically provides the agent's contact information, like their phone number and their email, making it very simple to get in touch. Now, when you call the agent, your main goals are to confirm that the property is truly distressed and to see if they're willing to accept an investor type offer, such as an all cash offer. Now, keep in mind, we want to focus specifically on properties that need a lot of repairs or updates and where the seller is motivated to sell quickly due to their current situation, such as a divorce or a job relocation. Now, we can't always uncover these details from the property description itself. So when we actually speak to the real estate agent on the phone, this is the perfect opportunity to see why the seller is interested in selling their house. And this is why having conversations with real estate agents is so important. It's your chance to dig deeper and gather crucial insights that can help you get deals under contract and ultimately wholesale them. And during your call, don't hesitate to ask questions like, what kind of renovations does the property need? And is there anything we should know about the property that we can't see from the photos on the MLS? Also, what's the seller's reason for selling their house? And this initial call that we have with the agent, this is what we call the discovery call. It's all about uncovering as much information as possible about the property and the seller's motivations. Now, this knowledge will help you to determine whether the deal is worth pursuing and also how to structure your offer. Now, by the end of this call, you should have a clear understanding of the property's condition, the seller's motivation, and the potential value of this deal. Now, once you have all the info that you need, you're ready to move on to the next step. Now, in step #5, it's time to analyze the property. This is where we determine if the property has the potential to be a profitable wholesale deal. First, let's start by determining the ARV, also known as the after repair value. The ARV is the estimated price of what the property will sell for in its best possible condition once it's been repaired and renovated. Next, we estimate the repair costs. This is the cost of repairs it will take to get the property to its best possible condition. So this could be structural repairs like fixing a foundation, or cosmetic upgrades like new flooring throughout the house and any other necessary fixes. Then we establish our wholesale fee. We typically like to aim for at least $10,000 for a wholesale fee, which is the profit we receive, and that's what we get after the deal is all said and done. Now, sometimes you'll make more than $10,000 and sometimes you'll make less, but typically this is a great starting point for many wholesale deals. Now, from there, we're able to determine the purchase price. This is the price you offer to the seller in order to secure the property under contract. Now, in order to determine the purchase price, we can use our deal analysis spreadsheet, which you can actually download below in the description. But if you don't have that, then we can use a common formula to determine a purchase price for the property, where we make a $10,000 wholesale fee and where a cash buyer is happy with the profit they're going to make on this fix and flip deal. I'll walk through the formula and the numbers now. So suppose the ARV of the property we're analyzing in Louisiana is $350,000. Start by multiplying the ARV by 80%. So 350,000 times 80% is 280,000. Next, subtract the estimated repair cost. And let's say these repairs are $30,000. So subtract that from 280. We now have 250,000. Finally, subtract your desired wholesale fee, which we set at $10,000. So subtract that by 250,000. Now we have 240,000. So in this scenario, this means 240,000 would be your maximum allowable offer to the seller for you to make a $10,000 wholesale fee and for your cash buyer to receive the fix and flip profit they desire on this deal. Now, this formula, it's a quick rule of thumb and is really used for example's sake. As professional wholesalers, we actually use our deal calculator for every wholesale and flip deal that we do, and it simplifies the math and allows us to get our numbers down to the T, often allowing us to make larger wholesale fees than utilizing that simple formula. And if you'd like to try out our calculator, just go to realestateskills.com/calculator, where you can input all your numbers and start analyzing wholesale deals. Now that we have all of our numbers sorted, it's time for step 6, which is submitting a well-prepared strategic offer. Now here's the truth. Your offer can make or break the deal. And in order to get a property under contract, you absolutely have to know what you're doing and come off as credible and competent. Sellers and agents need to feel confident in working with you and that you have the ability to close on a deal. Additionally, you need to be mindful of the terms you put into the contract. For example, if the seller needs to move in 14 days, then you'll want to put a closing date for 14 days on the contract. Now, most amateur wholesalers do not think this far ahead, and even when the seller and agent tells them that they need to close in 14 days or sooner, the amateur wholesaler goes off on their own and puts that they need to close in 30 days on the contract. Now, this is a red flag, and it's not accommodating to the seller's wants and needs. Instead, you want to be a solutions provider and let them know you can close in 14 days or sooner, or even later if need be. Now, we also have to make sure we have clean offers. What I mean by this is an offer with minimal contingencies. And think of contingencies as backout clauses. Now, the only contingency we put in our contract is an inspection contingency, and we usually make it for 7 days. This inspection contingency gives us 7 days to inspect the property, and if the property does not pass our personal inspection, then we can actually back out of the property, back out of the deal without needing to close on it and with no repercussions whatsoever. Now, when done the right way, it can be done with no repercussions and no risk, so it's important that your contracts are dialed in. And this is how we stay protected as investors and how we never have to buy a deal that we don't want. Now, in over 12 years of wholesaling real estate, I've never had to buy one wholesale deal that I didn't want to buy, and I've never ever lost money wholesaling because I always operate with my inspection time period window, and I back out the contract due to the inspection if needed. So this is how we're able to wholesale real estate virtually risk-free. And if you'd like access to our contracts that we use to wholesale real estate across the country and in Louisiana, you can grab them at realestateskills.com/contracts. Now let's move on to the last step of wholesaling in Louisiana, which is closing the deal. This is the stage where everything comes together. Ownership officially transfers from the seller to the buyer, and you assign the contract rights to the buyer. Most importantly, this is when you'll collect your $10,000 wholesale fee for all the work you've done to bring the deal across the finish line. Now, when closing a deal in Louisiana, it involves working with title and escrow companies to ensure that all the paperwork is accurate, handled properly, and completed. And these companies will ensure that all funds are securely transferred between all parties. Now, if you're brand new to real estate, then you might not know of any title and escrow companies in Louisiana, and that's totally fine. Start by asking your real estate agent for recommendations because they'll often work with trustworthy escrow and title companies. Now, as you close more deals, you'll naturally discover title and escrow companies that you enjoy working with. And over time, you can use these properties, and this can help streamline your process and make future deals more seamless. These types of relationships you build with escrow and title companies, as well as your cash buyers and real estate agents, well, all of these can become your greatest assets when it comes to wholesaling. Now, once you've completed the step of closing the deal, you've not only earned your wholesale fee, but also gained valuable experience to repeat the process and grow your real estate business. And each deal is a building block toward long-term success in real estate investing. Now, congrats for making it this far. Those are the 7 steps on how to wholesale real estate in Louisiana. And if you enjoyed this video, you're most likely going to love my free weekly webinar. And at this webinar, I'm going to cover how to create wealth through real estate investing without any experience, without using your own money, and without having to work 40+ hours a week. During this online training, I'll cover number 1, how to make an active and passive income through real estate. 2, how to identify the best deals in any market across the US. And number 3, the proven strategies to build financial security from cash flowing real estate. Don't miss this webinar. It's going to be the best training you see this year, and you can find it at realestateskills.com/webinar, and I'll put it down in the description below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can check out our next videos that we put out. And if you know someone who's curious about wholesaling real estate in Louisiana, please share this video with them so that they can get started as well. Once again, this was Alex Martinez with realestateskills.com. Happy wholesaling.